Hey everyone, welcome to the channel for another Escape from Tarkov video. After a little bit of a delay, I'm happy to present my updated ammo guide for the 0.12 patch. I updated my armor and helmet guides just before the holidays, and then after the holidays a lot of ammo changes started happening, so I decided to push this one back a bit. But now that things have more or less settled down, the update to this one finally came together. In this video, I'll be going over each category of ammo that players can currently use in the game, giving some general breakdowns of what you can expect in each category, and then giving my picks for the best overall rounds and the best budget rounds in each category. I won't be going into the specifics of each and every bullet available in the game, because there's a lot of different types in most categories, and I think it's more useful to point out the most reliable options for both PvE and PvP instead. I will also be leaving up a full screen image of the official ammo table at the end of each section, so if you want to look at the individual stats of each round, you can just pause the video there for a few seconds when the table comes up. So with that all out of the way, let's get right into it. I figure one of the best places to start off is the 5.45 by 39mm ammo, one of the most ubiquitous ammo types in Escape from Tarkov because of just how commonly used the AK-74 series of rifles are in the game. 5.45 ammo is used in the entire AK-74 series, including the AK-74M, AKS-74U, and AK-105, as well as the RPK-16 light machine gun. The 5.45 round is a great all-purpose assault rifle round, with pretty good muzzle velocity, accuracy, damage, and penetration, especially with the top tier ammo. It's also not a large caliber round, so the recoil on most 5.45 weapons is very manageable. On the price scale, this ammo can range from dirt cheap garbage ammo to some of the most expensive rounds in the game, but in general, the price is pretty balanced. A bit of an interesting note, the mid-tier 5.45 ammo is generally a bit more expensive than other types, but the top tier 5.45 ammo is usually cheaper than other rifle rounds, so the price kind of balances out in the end. On top of this, you can find all of the best types of this ammo in pretty large quantities while playing the game, especially on reserve, so it's not too hard to bank up a good stockpile of these rounds. The top 5.45 round for pure damage is the hollow point at 74 damage, but it's definitely not the best round overall because of its low penetration. For armor penetration, the 7N39 ammo is the clear winner with 62 pen and will go through pretty much any armor in the game on the first shot. For my best overall pick though, I have to go with the BS ammo because it has the best balance of damage at 40 and penetration at 51. It easily goes through level 5 armor and has pretty good damage to back it up. This ammo is sold by Proper level 4 for about 770 rubles per bullet. For the best budget round in this class, I think it's honestly a three-way split between the BP, BT, and PP ammo types. BT has the best overall stats and can be found in huge quantities, but it's a tracer round which gives your position away. BP ammo and PP ammo are both great budget options if you don't want tracer bullets, and they have very similar stats. BP is slightly better, but also more expensive. All of these ammo types are sold by Proper level 2 to 3, ranging from around 200 to 400 rubles per bullet. Next up, it's really only fitting to talk about the 7.62 by 39 ammo, another round that most players will become extremely familiar with because it's also used in AK type rifles, which are very common in Escape from Tarkov. 7.62 by 39mm ammo is used by the entire AKM series, the AK-103, AK-104, Vepr 136, and the SKS, all of which are useful throughout the entire game from level 1 to 50. So you'll find them quite frequently. This one's not quite as versatile as the 5.45 round, it has less accuracy and less muzzle velocity, but the 7.62 AK round packs a bit more of a punch and is generally less expensive. All things considered, I think the 7.62 AK ammo is actually a pretty balanced round, because its shortcomings are made up for by cost effectiveness and the ability to easily craft the top tier ammo in the hideout. The highest damage output in this category is again the hollow point at 83 damage, but it does basically nothing against armor. The best round for straight armor pen is the BP ammo, and this is also the best overall round for 7.62 by 39 weapons. BP ammo has 58 damage, which is pretty high, and 47 armor pen, which in my opinion is an awesome balance, because it will almost always go through level 5 armor and have enough damage to 2-shot kill someone in the chest, unlike the 5.45 BS or 7N39 ammo. You can get BP ammo from Proper level 3 for about 470 rubles after finishing the Punisher quest line, or you can craft 120 rounds for just 1 green gunpowder at the workbench level 3, which is an amazingly cost-effective way to get top tier ammo. For the best budget round, the PS ammo is actually quite good for its price of less than 100 rubles, and is probably the best ammo low-level players can access until about level 15 or 20. Moving away from the AKs for a second, next up is the 5.56 by 45mm ammo, which is used mostly by Western or NATO weapons, but also does find its way into a few Russian weapons in Escape from Tarkov as well. 5.56 rounds are used by the M4A1, ADAR, TX-15, HK-416, MDR, AK-101, and AK-102 rifles, and in general, they have slightly less damage but higher muzzle velocity, accuracy, and armor penetration than most AK rounds. There are several types of 5.56 ammo in the game, and after recent buffs to the mid-tier A1 rounds, I think 5.56 is actually in a really good spot right now. The budget ammo options are actually really good and quite cheap, and the high tier ammo is among the best in the game hands down, but you also pay a lot of money for it. To make up for how great some of this ammo is, it can either only be bought in small quantities of about 200 rounds, or it's very expensive, or both. I think this was actually a pretty clever balancing solution, because for a long time 5.56 dominated almost without contest at the endgame, and instead of nerfing the bullets, they just made it harder to get in huge quantities. The most damaging 5.56 round is the War Mage ammo, at 85 damage, which is basically a fancy hollow point that again has almost no armor penetration. The highest armor penetration is the M995 ammo, which is also definitely the best overall round in the category. At 53 pen, it's going through class 5 armor on the first shot, and 41 damage means you can 2-shot kill someone to the chest if you're lucky. However, M995 is also crazy expensive at over 1,000 rubles per bullet from Peacekeeper level 4, and you can only buy a few hundred rounds every reset. There is a crafting option at the workbench though, for 1 green gunpowder and 1 cannon shell, so I suggest using that to stock up on M995. For the best budget 5.56 round, I think the M855A1 is a very good choice. It has an awesome balance of 44 damage and 40 pen at the low cost of around $2 or 200 and some rubles per bullet. M856A1 is also an okay choice, but it's a tracer round and doesn't have quite as good armor pen. Next up is a larger caliber Western rifle round, the 7.62 by 51mm ammo, which got a few new options and some balancing changes with a recent update. This ammo is used in the SA-58, MDR, SR-25, RSAS, M1A, M700, DVL-10, T5000, and also the Vepr Hunter, but we don't talk about the Vepr Hunter here. 7.62 by 51mm rounds are powerful, fast, and accurate, commonly used in DMRs, snipers, and full-size battle rifles. This ammo is very effective even at long ranges, and trades off a high recoil for some very reliable stopping power. In general, most types of this ammo are very effective, though the BPZ, TPZ, and Ultra Nozzler variants that were added recently are noticeably less effective than the military variants M80, M61, and M62. For the highest damage, the Ultra Nozzler is the clear winner with 102 total damage, though again it has low armor penetration. For the highest penetration, the M61 comes in at 68 pen, which will basically 100% go through any armor in the game. For the best overall round, I would say M61 and M62 are both top tier, but for different purposes. The M61 round is one of the best sniper rounds in the game, since it will go through any armor on the first hit, but it's also over 1,000 rubles per bullet, so it's not something you want to burn through on full auto. M62 on the other hand, has a bit less penetration, but will still likely go through class 5 armor on the first hit, and it's substantially cheaper at around 400 rubles per bullet. This round is a tracer, but I think the stats are good enough to still call it useful. For the best budget round, I think the clear winner is definitely the M80 ammo, with 80 damage and 41 pen at about 200 rubles per bullet. It won't go through class 5 armor on the first shot, but it will only take 1 or 2 follow-up hits to completely destroy any armor and whatever's hiding behind it. Next up, we have the 7.62 by 54R ammo, another powerful, fast, and extremely accurate round that is one of the most fearsome types of sniper ammo in Escape from Tarkov. 7.62 by 54 ammo is used by the Mosin, SV98, and SVDS sniper rifles, and is one of the hardest to divide into best and worst types in my opinion, because almost every ammo type is useful in its own way. Every type of ammo in this class has at least 70 damage and at least 40 penetration, so regardless of which ammo you hit someone with, it is universally going to hurt their armor a lot and hurt them even more if it gets through. The highest damage in this class is the 7N1 sniper cartridge at 86, but the LPS GZH and T46M also both do over 80 damage, which is a one-shot kill if it hits in the chest. The highest armor penetration in this class is the 7N37 at 70 penetration, which is the highest in the game, but it's also a very expensive round at about 1,000 rubles. For the best overall ammo in the 7.62 by 54 category, it's honestly hard to choose, but I would split it between the 7N37 and 7BT if you're going for armor penetration, and the 7N1 ammo if you're looking for a one-shot chest kill through most armor. Honestly, I have a really hard time picking out one single best ammo in this category, so take a look at the ammo chart at the end and maybe that can help with your decision. They all cost around 500 to 900 rubles per shot at proper level 3 to 4. For the best budget rounds, SNB is a great choice for armor penetration and it's usually pretty cheap since you can find it in the raid often, and LPS GZH is a great choice for one-shot chest kills through low-level armor. Now we start to move away from traditional rifle rounds and into some specialty Russian armaments, starting with the 9x39mm ammo, which is currently only used by two weapons in Escape from Tarkov, the VSS and the AS Vol. 9x39mm rounds are pretty interesting, and in the context of the game, they basically offer the damage and penetration of a rifle round, but have the lower muzzle velocity and recoil of an SMG. The highest damage in this class is the SP5 round, which gives you 68 damage and a very respectable 35 armor pen to back that up. The best armor penetration in this class is the 7N12 BP ammo at 50, followed closely by the SPP at 45 and the SP6 at 43. For the best overall round, the 7N12 BP and SPP rounds are statistically the best, and both have amazing stats. But they're harder to get in large numbers, so you'll generally not be running these as your main ammo type unless you farm them or spend an absolute fortune on the flea market. You can buy 150 of the SPP rounds for about 660 rubles each from proper level 4, which is a nice change that I just noticed recently. However, the SP6 ammo sold by proper level 3 for about 400 rubles is pretty comparable to the more exotic ammo types while also much easier to get a hold of. For the best budget round, the SP5 is quite amazing, coming in at only 140 rubles per bullet from proper level 2. 68 damage and 35 pen at that price is crazy, and to be honest, I generally just run a lot of SP5 and spray for the face shield. Next up is a pretty quick section on one of the newest ammo types in the game, the 12.7 by 55mm round used by the Ash 12. These rounds all have insane damage at over 100 per bullet, but are sort of lacking in armor penetration, accuracy, and effective range. They also have the highest recoil in the game by far, so that's definitely something to keep in mind when using this. There's currently only 3 types of this ammo in the game, and it's pretty easy to single out the best ones. For damage, the PS12A does 165, but also has very low penetration. Against armor, the PS12B is the best type at 46 pen, and it's also the best overall round in the category with 102 damage. They're about 600 rubles per shot from proper level 4, and they're your best bet against anyone with good armor. For a budget choice, you could use the standard PS12 ammo, but honestly, I think if you're taking out an Ash 12, you should probably spring for the PS12B ammo, so you know that first shot is most likely lethal to the chest. That's pretty much it for the rifle rounds in Escape from Tarkov, except for one, but we'll get back to that later. So now it's time to move into the pistol and PDW rounds, starting with the very common 9x19 ammo. 9x19 Parabellum is used by a lot of different pistols and SMGs in Escape from Tarkov, and is actually used in more weapons than most other types of ammo in the game. Currently, it's used by the MP443, M9, P226, Glock 17 and 18 pistols, as well as the MP5, MP9, MPX, and Vityaz SMGs, and the Saiga 9 carbine. 9x19 ammo generally has decent damage but low penetration, meaning it's a great ammo if you hit the soft spots but not really that effective against armor. It does have pretty decent muzzle velocity and accuracy though, so it's actually possible to use at medium range if you know what you're doing with it. Because of the low recoil on most 9mm weapons, you can also land a lot of follow-up shots even when spraying on full auto and get through armor that way, but just don't expect to be one-tapping people through armor with these weapons. The highest damage in this class is 102 from the RIP rounds, which also have almost zero armor penetration. The best round against armor is the AP 6.3 round, but even that only gives you 25 pen for $4 a bullet, so it's not exactly cost effective. However, I still say it's the best overall round in this category, and if you're confident that you can land multiple shots to get through armor or helmets, the AP 6.3 ammo is pretty good, if a little expensive for what it offers. For the budget ammo choice, I would say load up with PST GZH because it's dirt cheap, has over 50 damage, and the second highest armor pen in this class. Next up is another 9mm round, the 9x18mm Makarov, which is used in a few Russian pistols and SMGs, including the PM, APS, APB, Klin, and Keter. Like the 9x19 ammo, these rounds generally have decent damage but low penetration, though many of the 9x18 options are hollow points and do quite a lot of damage compared to other pistol rounds. These rounds are also universally pretty cheap, so you can spray and pray without worrying about the cost. For the highest damage, the SP7 rounds hit for 77 damage, but with almost no penetration. Against armor, the PMM and PBM rounds are both similar with 25 and 22 pen, and are pretty cheap compared to the 9x19 AP 6.3, but have very similar stats. For the best overall rounds, I would say stick with the PMM or PBM, because they have good damage and are the only ones with any chance of going past armor. You can get these for about 120 rubles from proper level 3, but keep in mind that the Keter does not work with PMM rounds. For budget rounds, basically choose anything else and kinda just wing it. They're all low pen but high damage, so aim for the head and legs and pray to Comrade Makarov for a good hit. Just when you think there can't possibly be another 9mm ammo, here's a fourth variant, the 9x21mm armor-piercing pistol round. This ammo is used in only one weapon so far in Escape from Tarkov, the Shrimp pistol, so this will be another quick section. These rounds are quite heavy hitting for a pistol, and while not exactly amazing against armor, they're pretty good for a handgun, especially if you're good at making headshots. For the highest damage in this class, the SP11 and SP12 are both over 70, but not very effective against armor. The best armor penetration goes to the SP13 at 35, with the SP10 only a couple points behind at 32. Overall, I would say just stick with the SP10 or SP13 ammo in this class, because you want to take advantage of single heavy hits through light helmets and armor when using this ammo. You can get these rounds for about 150 to 250 rubles at proper level 4. This next section is a pretty quick one as well, going over the 7.62 by 25mm ammo used only by the TT pistol currently. This ammo is generally not that great across the board, and is really only meant for early game players and scavs. For the highest damage in this class, LRN and LRNPC both do over 60 damage, but with low penetration. For the highest pen, PST GZH is way ahead of the rest at 24 total penetration. Overall, I'd recommend sticking with PST GZH from proper level 3 and trying to get one taps to the head or face for the most reliable results. Next up, we move into the PDW rounds, starting off with the 5.7 by 28mm ammo, which is used by the P90 and the 5.7 pistol. These rounds are quite effective overall, especially considering they're used in small, light, low recoil weapons with a high fire rate. They have good muzzle velocity, accuracy, and damage, and decent armor penetration to back it up. On top of all this, they're actually pretty affordable too, at only about 200 to 300 rubles per shot, even for the best ammo. The highest damage in this class is the R37F, which does a crazy 98 damage per shot but has very low penetration. Against armor, the SS190, L191, and SB193 rounds have 32, 33, and 35 pen respectively, so they're each pretty good against armor, especially after a few follow-up hits. For the best overall round, I personally like the SS190 ammo because it has a great balance of 57 damage and 32 pen, and it's not a tracer or a subsonic bullet. These can be found for about $2 a round from Peacekeeper level 3. For the best budget option, it's hard to say since they all cost roughly the same amount, so I personally just stick with the SS190 or L191. Next up is another PDW round that's only used in one weapon in Escape from Tarkov, the MP7, a compact and deadly SMG that is essentially at the top of its class. Like the 5.7 by 28 ammo, these rounds have good muzzle velocity and accuracy for an SMG round, but they have lower damage and better armor pen for the top tier rounds, being basically the only non-rifle ammo that can get through class 5 armor. For the highest damage, Action SX rounds will get you 65 damage per shot, but have pretty low armor pen. For getting through armor, the AP SX is definitely the top tier at 47 pen, and is also the best overall round for the 4.6 by 30mm ammo. It does have kind of low damage at only 35 points, but that's made up for by the MP7's high fire rate. On the flip side, that high fire rate will burn through this ammo, which costs about 570 rubles per shot, and it's not unlocked until level 40 at mechanic level 4. For the budget option, FMJ SX is actually not bad overall at 43 damage and 30 pen, but some people have mentioned that they really like the subsonic SX, which does slightly better against armor but has lower muzzle velocity, so it's a bit less accurate. For the second to last ammo type on the list, it's time for the 366 TKM rounds, which should be left exclusively to the scavs, and are kind of a trap for newer players who won't immediately realize why they can't hit or kill anything when they pick up one of these rifles off of a scav. These rounds are essentially a halfway point between a shotgun slug and a rifle round, and have low muzzle velocity, low accuracy, and low armor penetration, but some decently high damage because of their large size, and they're only used in the VPO 209 and the VPO 215 rifles. The highest damage in this class is the Gexa round at 80 damage, but with low penetration. The best round against armor here is the EKO ammo with 30 pen and the highest muzzle velocity in this class. Overall, I would say stick with the EKO round from Jaeger level 2 if you ever use a 366 weapon, since it's the highest muzzle velocity and the best armor pen, so generally the most likely to actually hurt someone if you hit them with it. Finally, to close off this guide, it's time to go over the shotgun shells, which used to only have 2 options, but now actually has the most options out of all the ammo types, even though most of them are honestly very similar to one another. For this category, I'll start with the 12x70 rounds, used in the M870, MP133, MP153, and Saiga 12 shotguns, and I'll separate my review into buckshot and slugs. For buckshot, they're all very similar and kind of accomplish the same goal, but in my opinion, if you're going to rock a shotgun with buckshot, you might as well take either the most damaging option or the one most likely to penetrate armor. For damage, the 8.5mm Magnum buckshot gives you the highest at 8 pellets with 44 damage each, so it's the most likely to seriously hurt or kill someone on a good hit to the legs or stomach. For penetration, the buckshot shells only really have one option, the flechette rounds, which shoot out 8 darts that each have 28 penetration, which together can destroy some pretty high tier armor if all 8 of your shots hit on target. For slugs, almost all of them are very similar and equally devastating against people that aren't wearing armor, but the one that really stands out is the AP-20 slug, which gives your shotgun 32 pen and and 164 damage per shot. These AP slugs I would say are overall the best option for 12 gauge shotguns, but they're locked behind Jaeger level 4, so it's kind of a grind to get them unlocked. For the 20 gauge ammo used only by the TOZ bolt action shotgun right now, again I would say there's only 2 real contenders for the best ammo, though to be honest, the TOZ is kind of a meme gun, so none of these are really high tier anyways. For the buckshot option, the 7.3mm buckshot has 1 extra pellet, 9 in total at 22 damage each, so it's just the obvious winner in that category for damage. For the slugs, the Devastator slug hits insanely hard at 188 damage, so that's kind of a tempting option. But the Poleva 6U slug has more balanced stats at 120 damage and 17 pen. Still not great, but it might go through something after a few consecutive hits. Well, that about covers it for this whirlwind tour through the ammo options available to players in Escape from Tarkov. I hope you found it helpful, and at the very least, I hope after finishing this video, you have a pretty good understanding at least of what the best ammo choices in each category are. Keep in mind that this is all subject to change at any time. I'll try my best to keep this video up to date with small changes in the description, and we'll update it again with the next large update of the game, which hopefully adds new ammo and new weapons. I'll be streaming more of my progress in the 0.12 patch on Twitch at twitch.tv/jdogthewise, and it'd be great to have you drop by the stream, so I'll leave a link for that down in the description. As always, feel free to leave any comments, corrections, or suggestions down below, and until next time, stay safe in Tarkov City.